turn instead. Ooh, another Smitten Swordmaster. That's very, very nice. So we put down the Foulmire Knight. Now we have a lot of knights. Now we have 5 knights. Yeah, we can kill them this turn. This is pretty amazing. Yep. And then, curry flavor. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Curry flavor. And we're back in black. Yes. Today we're playing a budget deck. Yes, this is gonna be uploaded on my second channel. I don't know if you noticed, maybe if you clicked on this, you thought it was my first channel. This is for my second channel. We're creating a budget deck today. We only have 8 rares except for the 2 Knight of Ebon Legion. And the reason that I have a Knight of Ebon Legion is that you get in the beginning packs they get, and you're getting through the beginning progressions. You can easily get 2 of these, and then all you need is wildcards for Midnight Reaper and Ayara First of Locthwain. By the way, the gameplay in this game, so I'm going to try to make it a little bit more beginner friendly at the best I can. I'm not super good at it. I usually don't explain much in my videos, but I try to add a little bit more explanation in these videos. I'm also gonna make this intro a little bit longer to explain a little bit what the cards do and what you're trying to accomplish with this deck. So this is a deck which is a version of another deck which I'm going to upload on my main channel, where the goal of the deck is to put down a lot of creatures and then kill them by putting down creatures and activating special effects. You don't need to necessarily attack in, because often in Magic there's going to be a board set where neither side can really attack in favorably. So what we want to set up is a good scenario here where we can kill them without attacking in ever, and that's easily achievable with this deck. So the 2 key cards that you need is Midnight Reaper and Ayara First of Locthwain, and that's so that we get an engine for the deck so that we can keep going and keep drawing cards. If you have more wild cards, then I would definitely suggest checking out there's a Knight which is called Murderous Rider, which fits very, very well into this deck, and that's another card that you can look out for if you have the wild cards. But if you don't have the wild cards, then I think it's good enough with what we got going here. Midnight Reaper, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, it deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card, and you are First of Locthwain. Whenever a black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, and they can sacrifice a black creature to draw a card. So of course, this synergizes very well with having small creatures, which we can sacrifice, and if you have both the Midnight Reaper and a Ayara out, you will draw 2 creatures for every will draw 2 cards for every creature that you sacrifice, which is pretty amazing. Also, we have Cauldron Familiar. Whenever it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, another way of killing our opponents. And then you can sacrifice a food. A food is a token. It's an artifact token that you can sacrifice to gain 3 life. That can gain in various ways, and we're going to talk about how to gain it in just a second. And then you can return it from your graveyard to the battlefield, and this can be played at any point. It's not like when you play a normal creature, you can only play it during your turn. You can play it during your opponent's turn, and you can also use a couple of tricks with this. So for instance, here we have Witch's Oven. Sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If that creature toughness was 4 or greater, create 2 food tokens instead. The second clause is hardly ever relevant in this deck, but the first clause is we can sacrifice a creature and we can get a food, and that means that we can always at the end of our turn sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar and draw a card. And if we have a Midnight Reaper out, we will also gain 1 card up, because we gain a card from the Midnight Reaper, and our opponent will lose a little bit of life when we do this. We also have Foulmire Knight, which is a good knight, which synergizes very well with the Smitten Swordmaster, which is something I should probably talk about first. We have a couple of cheap knights in this deck, and that's because they are common and uncommon, so they're very easy to get for a free-to-play deck or something like that. And it has Curry Favor. You gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. So this is another way of killing them. We can deal damage with Ayara, we can damage with Cauldron Familiar, we can damage with Smitten Swordmaster without ever attacking in, and sometimes we're gonna be in a good board state, of course, where we can attack in, and of course we're not gonna, not attack, but if we don't need to, we're not we're not gonna attack in. Foulmire Knight has the upside that it can use Profane Insight. If you draw it late, you can draw an extra card and lose 1 life, and then it's a 1/1 Death Touch, which is nice because it's kind of semi-removal, and we don't have much removal in this deck. The only removal we're running is Spark Harvest, where we can sacrifice a creature to destroy a creature or planeswalker, and this is very good in this deck, of course, because all our creatures are very cheap, and often if we sacrifice something, for instance, if we have a Midnight Reaper out, we'll draw a card, so we'll often gain some card advantage. Order of Midnight is another card advantage, is another knight, which of course course works well with Smitten Swordmaster when we use the Curry favor. And it has an Alter Fate, which can return a creature card from the graveyard to your hand, which is very important because we need the Midnight Reaper and the Ayara. We need one of them on the board for this deck to be really, really effective. If we don't have Ayara or Midnight Reaper, it's easier for the deck to, after a while, fizzle out and not have enough cards. But if we can at least return them from the graveyard whenever they get killed, we can keep going. We'll already talk about the Witches. I mean, I have one Witches Cottage here. You don't need to have it in the deck. I think it's a little bit dangerous to run too many of these in such an aggressive strategy because sometimes you're going to draw 2 of them and they come into the battlefield tapped unless you can draw 3 or more other swamps. When that's the battlefield, you can return a creature from your graveyard to the top of the library, and that's most often going to be the Midnight Reaper and the Ayara. That is pretty much deck. That was a free-to-play action. Kind of. I mean, you need some rares. You can't create this immediately, but very, very soon you should be able to create this exact deck that we got going there. Keep this. This looks like a fine hand. Need a 3rd land, but except for that, pretty sweet stuff. We're gonna lead off with this, because this comes into play tapped. Unfortunately, yeah, unless you have 3 or more swamps. Gonna try to make this a little bit more tutorial-like. But I know I'm gonna forget, but gonna try at least. Let's see here. I think we just put down a Order of Midnight here. So that we have a good flyer. Something in the air to attack. And also we can use the Smitten Swordmaster next turn for, I mean, not too much damage, but 1 damage if we want to. But we probably want to lead off with the Ayara here when I think about, oh, that's not happening, mister. That's not happening. Yeah, Ayara, first of Locthwain. Goes in, and we smack him with the Order of Midnight. Badunk. Whenever a black creature enters battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This guy has the adventure, you can return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I'm gonna try to make it tutorial, but as I said, I'm gonna forget from time to time. So I might not always. Here we have a pretty sweet interaction. When this comes into play, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, and they can sacrifice a food to return from your graveyard, and this will also of course trigger the Ayara. Wing wing. Put down the Witch's Oven. This guy should have reach, yeah. So we're not gonna attack into that. Let's see here. We don't want to use this now. We want to use this when we block. So I don't want to use this. We could kill off, though, if we want to. We could kill off the Wildborn Preserver with our Spark Harvest here. Which I think is a pretty good thing to do. It's gonna grow. Or well. I need to think about it. We could also. Is this an instant? This is a sorcery. I think we're going with the Order of Midnight because we're fine trading here. Going with this. And if he blocks with Wildborn Preserver, that's fine. He doesn't. That's good. And then we keep up a Ayara so we can sacrifice something. And then I think we just go for a little bit of damage with this. A little bit of damage with this. And pass turn. Keep Ayara up so we can draw a card at any point. And just a little bit of damage from the Smitten. Got him! First game! Hyper N will be our next opponent there. Let's see if I remember the tutorial part. This is very good. We have Witch's Oven, which of course combos with Cauldron Familiar, as I hopefully mentioned in my intro. I haven't recorded it yet. So this is a very good opening. So let's keep this. Now, if you should go Cauldron Familiar or Witch's Oven first, depends. If you suspect that they have removal, you probably want to put down the Oven first. Because if you put down the Oven first, then if they play removal on the Cauldron Familiar, then you can just sacrifice it in respawn. So we gotta do that. We don't know if he has a red removal spell or something. We don't know anything about our opponent, so we lead off with the Oven. Playing this first, though, will give us more damage, because we'll probably be able to attack in with it. Once upon a time. If this is the first spell you cast this game, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So all the once upon a time that he plays after this is gonna have to pay the mana for. That's what that means. This hand is pretty sweet. We have a lot of like 1-drops. Like most things goes like 1 and 2. I like that. Makes the deck a lot faster. That's a big beginner mistake that I often fell into. Creating decks where the mana curve was too high, and you have too many high costing things. The less things cost, the better. That's just That's just how it is. Okay, so we're gonna put down the Cauldron Familiar. And he loses 1 life. And we put down the Foulmire Knight. You don't need to always use the adventure partner. As you can see, that thing has an adventure. But if you're on very low mana, as we are now, with only 2 mana, then it's just better to put it down as a 1/1 death touch. Which is pretty good in by itself. Okay, Ebon, Knight of the Ebon Legion. It's pretty sweet. We have a... Let's see. We have the Witch's Oven, so we can just do this. We can sacrifice Cauldron Familiar. We can use this at the end of our turn all the time. Because for some reason, this Cauldron Familiar can be returned. This is very rare that a creature can be played at any point like this. Like the Cauldron Familiar can do here. So let's see here. Do we want to kill a Knight of the Ebon Legion? I don't think we need to, really. We can put down another Foulmire Knight. And then we can Smitten Swordmaster with the curry flavor. And let's see here. I don't think it's gonna block the Foulmire Knight, no. Very unlikely to block it, so we go in. If it blocks it, it blocks it. I don't think it's gonna. Since that death touch. And many people usually value the Knight of the Ebon Legion over the Foulmire Knight. But he doesn't, so it dies. And then turn. And then just... We can put a reminder like this, if you want to. Then it will always stop at the end of your opponent's turn. I mean, it will always stop at the end of your opponent's turn, but then you have a little bit of a reminder there to do something. Paralyzed Druid, okay. I'm gonna pass all the way to the end of the turn. When it says my turn, I use this on the Cauldron Familiar. Recur it 1 more time. Witch's Oven. Resolve. And Cauldron Familiar. Up with you. Solve. You don't need to have it there though. I realized that it's a little bit annoying because it goes into full control mode when it does do it. My turn. Okay, here we found our 3rd land, which is pretty sweet. We could do a Smitten Swordmaster. Yeah, probably should do that. Smitten Swordmaster now, because we don't know if it's gonna block or not here. Gonna do this and the curry flavor. Even more damage. And then go in with the... yeah, we can go in both. That's fine. See what it blocks here. Okay, blocks the Foulmire Knight. And concedes. Got another one. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. Mirkos Grr will be our next opponent then. Let's see what beautiful hand we have here today. Okay, 4 lands a little bit much. But we have the Cauldron Familiar Witch's Oven, so I feel confident still keeping this. Because if we can get this going early, that should be very good for us. It should be very good. And we're gonna lead off with the oven again first. Because we don't want to get into the situation where we don't have... Oh, wait. I say one thing. And I do another thing. That was what I thought I was gonna do, but I didn't. Well, it turned out great. So anyways. Okay, the Witch's Oven. I think, we put this down. So then the question becomes... Yeah, we probably put this down. Now that we have the Smitten Swordmaster, we could also have waited with it. And use the Profane Insight next turn. But I think since we have this, we want to get a little bit of value out of it. Going with this guy. And smack him. Boink. And then turn. Dimir Gilgate. This seems to be a slow deck. It could be a slow deck at least. I'll see. No. Or it's my turn. I'm gonna sacrifice Cauldron Familiar. And return him. We don't want to draw as many lands as we did. Drawing 4 lands is a little bit bad for this deck, because this is a very fast deck. Ooh, okay. Well, we have Yarok's Fenlurker. Can definitely use here. Put it down. Exile something from our opponent. And then we can go do the curry flavor. I mean, I think you should do curry flavor even if you don't have a large number of knights. Even if it's just for 1. It's worth doing, I feel like. Yep. And then we'll do the curry flavor. Wink. And then we go in. 2 more damage. Wink, wink. Start of 14. It's not super low, but you know. Somewhat low. Somewhat. 3 manas. What is he gonna play here? Nothing. Well then, before it's my turn, we do this nonsense again. And return it. 1 damage, gain 1 life. Okay, we have a Spark Harvest, but we really don't have much to do with that thing. I think go in first in this case. We might even consider buffing up Yarok here. I think that we're gonna do that instead, because he's probably looking for some kind of board wipe here. And we don't want to overextend on the board, so we might just keep this in the hand. Okay, Cry of the Carnarium. This is gonna exile everything. We don't want our cat exiled, so we need to sacrifice this. But it's good that we didn't put down the Smitten Swordmaster. That would have been an even worse situation. Okay. Well, these cards didn't matter too much, I think, that it took there. What? Oh! Exile all cards in all graveyards that we put there from the battlefield this turn. Oh, that's pretty good for me. He got my cat there also. I didn't think about that. That's very, very good. And pass turn. We really need one of our card drawing cards, which we haven't found in any of the games. Kind of. Which is why we are struggling a little bit there. Also drawing a little bit too many lands. Okay. Well, we'll see if we can find some. Another Spark Harvest. He doesn't have anything, really. So I think we just wait. We just wait. A little bit unfortunate drawing to a little bit too many lands and none of the card drawing cards. Drawn from Dreams, this might be over here. We'll see. If we draw another land or another Spark Harvest, he's probably too much ahead. I mean, we could theoretically pull ahead. But I'll see. We'll see what happens. It was very good for him that he main decked Cry the Canarium against, against us. That's one of the anti-cards, yeah. Cry the Canarium is a very, very good card against our deck. Very few people run it, but when you're up against it, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. That's just how it goes. So, about this, I don't know if I'm gonna keep those previous games in. If you have 2 lands in your hand, and only 3 drops, and you don't find the 3rd land for a very long time, it's safe to scoop at that point. It's one of the most common ways to lose in Magic, is when you... oh, we can't do anything with this. It's when you don't find your 3rd land, or your 3rd land gets delayed. One of the easiest way of losing. That's why a lot of people don't want to keep a starting hand with more... Oh, Duras. It chooses a non-crit card, but we have no non-crit cards, so that card just got wasted. I'm gonna put down Yarok's Fenlurker. Now we found a non-crit card. Let's see what he exiles from his hand. It's very crucial to find the 3rd land, unless your opponent has a really bad hand, or if he stalls out on 2 lands also, then he can maybe survive. Okay, Force of Enforcer. Here we did find our 3rd land. That's amazing. Put down Midnight Reaper. And here we can actually go in, because I don't mind if he blocks her, so I'll draw a card with this. Which I would like to do, because the thing is, if I could find a swamp like this, I can play my Swordmaster and maybe sacrifice it, kill something. That's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I'm gonna also use the curry flavor. It's gonna put something down. No, that's not. Okay, now though, we have a Ayara also, which is pretty good. I think we just put down a Ayara and pass. We don't need to attack in here. There's no use in attacking in. But it's very good to have both these, because now whenever we sacrifice something to Ayara, we're gonna draw 2 cards. One from Midnight Reaper and one for Ayara's ability when we sacrifice something. Okay, another Force of Enforcer. Luckily for us, as I said, we don't need to attack in with this deck, so that's very good. Then, let's see here. Here, I think what we're gonna go for is... I think we're gonna go for curry flavor. Just only this one, but... Then, put this down, and then another curry flavor. This down, deal 1 damage. And then... another curry flavor. As you can see, we're beating him down here without attacking in. These guys are gonna be on the block, they have Death Touch and Afterlife, so we don't want to attack into them, but they're very bad on the attacks, so... Now we might consider killing our Ayara here. Because he probably realizes that Ayara is killing him slowly. Probably. Guide! Kaya's Wrath. That's very good for him to clear the border. But we can sacrifice the Smitten Swordmaster, draw 2 from this, and then we're gonna draw 2 from these also. So we're gonna be able to probably replenish our entire border. That's what's so sweet about this deck, that we don't mind getting killed. Oh, well, we mind. We don't want to get killed like this, but we can often survive it. Because we're gonna get so goddamn many cards back for this. Yep. And then we can just order a Midnight back our Ayara. Okay, so let's see. We are probably gonna put this down again, and then we're gonna order Midnight, return our Ayara. First of Locthwain, because she's kind of our kill condition. She's how we kill people usually. And yeah, pass turn. So next turn we can Ayara, and we can put down probably a couple of Knights. Could be good. This can gain Death Touch and Vigilance, but we don't care too much about that, I don't think. Okay, I can take either Spark Harvest or our Witch's Oven. I don't think the Witch's Oven is gonna be too good there, so yeah, I think taking the Spark Harvest there is good. As he did. Okay, attacking for 2. Okay, we have 2 Witch's Ovens, but no cats, unfortunately. We can put this down, and we can put down the Order of Midnight. Now we can't attack in with these 1/1s, or well, he can, but it's not gonna do him much good. No attacks with this. And just keep putting down things. We don't need to ever attack him. That's not our idea. That's not how we fight. Liliana, that's pretty good. It can go for the -2, kill 2 things off her. No, it goes for a zombie. That's fine. So let's see here. He probably wants to win with the ultimate here, -9. But I think we might be able to kill him before that. Let us see here. If we flood the board and we return our Smitten Swordmaster from our graveyard, that's pretty good. The Smitten. And let's see here. And then we put down another Order of Midnight. And next turn, we can deal a lot of damage. Let's see here. We just pass. Liliana could go minus here. Kill off 2 things if she wants to. We'll see if she does that. She could even produce a human with the Castle Ardenvale, go minus, which forces us to kill a couple of things, but it's not that amazing. We do need the Spark Harvest now, though, to kill a Planeswalker. Do we sacrifice something with Ayara? I don't think so. I think this is fine. We just wait. He needs 9 to go off with this, so we could dig for a Spark Harvest, I guess. But I think I'll do that on my turn instead. Ooh, another Smitten Swordmaster. That's very, very nice. So we put down the Foulmire Knight. Now we have a lot of Knights. Now we have 5 Knights. Yeah, we can kill him this turn. This is pretty amazing. Yep. And then, Curry Flavor. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Curry Flavor. Got him. Own him. Member shout out. Member shout out. Thank everyone so much for watching. A special thank you, of course, to our dear members. Blue Dragon, Owen77, Adam Alexis, Ramen Noodles for Me, Manic Pistolman, Simon Lauer, Rodney Cox, Herman M, Agony Reborn, The Soft Pillow, Snick, Luria Stars, Shamanix, Spencer Hofsty, Alex Michael, Nathaniel Nissen, Laser Set to Stun, Eric0234, Jeff Henry, Leaning Into It, Santa John, Michael Yu, Poku Yu, Matthias Poorly Topless Investments, Kronos 1107, W Lutz 1978, P. Peter Gold, Strange Brontide, Sean Stevens, Gabriel Juvenal, Tandex, Smog JC, Tim Stokes, Wizard, QD Late 23, Brian Gutierrez, Amano 84, Seth Hickok, Way, Ian Cusack, Mesamoch, Ye Old Basses, The Dingo Scrub, Orion SSFL, Crew, The Barbarian, Link is Weak, Rainbow 2002, 40k Television, Acros Ascending, Unite Moonlight Star, Donkey Kong, Wilke Ribeiro, Jace Unraveler of Secret Wines, Carlos Martinez, Drakeage 2000, Dab Steer, Nicolas Sanotti, Jurassic Fart, The Swamp King, Woki Floren, Rage Notch, Simple Human, Badass, Iwanab, John Domyam, Gesu Saki-kun, Yokoso. Dark Region Yokoso. Aaron Noble, Betsuma, Bloody Zick, Brandon Dobbs, Callisis Missile, Carlo Palumbo, Dan Goodsell, David Newman, DBK Drummer, Drew Styles, Eventum Tantum, Freeman Stephenson, Jeff Jordier, Kazon, Kip Kastner, Magneto, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Potte, Prince Mark Bagak, Esquire, Rainbow Cake, Serge Caramaro, Wonderbread, X-Covenant X, and Timothy. You guys are amazing. If you also want to become a Dark Disciple and help rule the underworld, then check out the join button next to the subscribe button, or check out my Patreon link down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Also, thank you to all the bad shoulders on Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe.